Thank you for coming. Hi. Welcome back to the New Mexico Inquisition. I'm Danger. We're excited to land on our 6th episode tonight, and it's a real doozy. Our lead correspondent, Sheridan Johnson, is back in a big way to help us navigate the peaks and valleys of this horrible, terrible crime wave. We're shredding NAR policy issues and cutting into the surf with our waxed up laugh board. God, who writes this stuff? Did I write that? I did. Also, Isiah Yazzie sits down to interview Juan Reynosa and George Lujan of Southwest Organizing Project, or SWOP, but not before we swap out this lame intro for some local headlines. Let's do it. Man, it's a hot one, boo-boo-boo. Summer is in full swing with temperatures reaching triple digits, and we're doing all we can to keep from bursting into flames. Most of us by taking smart or simple solutions, and others by any means necessary. An Albuquerque man was recently accused of stabbing his elderly parents because he was angry about a lack of air conditioner in their home. Robert Generosa, that's the name of the guy who stabbed his parents. Generosa was arrested for losing his cool by threatening to kill his parents and cutting his father's face off. Authorities spent hours outside his home trying to get Generosa to chill out. When he finally emerged so the police could put him on ice. I know, cool story, bro. But think about it. If he was willing to kill his parents for air conditioning, I'd hate to find out what he'd do for a Klondike bar. Downtown. It's a great place to party, but you wouldn't want to live there. Hell, you can barely park your car there without having it broken into lately. Businesses are pleading for help. News vans are getting stolen. It's a big ball of crimey-wimey stuff down here, and I think it's high time someone does something about it. What's this? Oh, it's Mayor Barry's new 5-point crime plan. Greater police presence, street sweepers and graffiti control, services for people suffering from homelessness, partnerships with local business owners, and more coordination between private security and police. All right. It looks like there's nothing to fear. The matter is well in hand. 5 points. Simple, elegant, so simple, in fact, it makes you wonder why we hadn't tried this before. Oh, what's this? Mayor Barry's 2016 crime plan. Hey, wait a second. This one has 14 points. Things like tougher sentences for repeat offenders and fixing the state Supreme Court's case management. So what happened to the other 9 points? Are we just good on all that? Did that even ever happen? I mean, what gives? Don't tell me. What's this? Thank you. Oh, Mary Berry's 2010 crime plan. Oh, hey, guess what? This one has 14 points. It includes sending out mass emails and tweeting about stolen cars. Huh. Don't tell me that didn't work. What's the point to a multi-point plan if all the points are pointless? Do you get my point? At this rate, there may as well just be 1 point. Get used to it, Albuquerque. They wouldn't even need to have a press conference about it. They could just tattoo it on the police chief's middle finger. A recent study from the Sentencing Project shows that New Mexico has seen a rise in prison population over the last 7 years, while 38 other states have seen a decline. This is despite the fact that violent crime, property crime, and homicide has dropped in double-digit percentages since the mid-1990s. So what's the crime? No, really, what's the crime so many people are being locked up for? According to Representative Antonio Mo Maestes, it's living in a state where the governor and the mayor of the state's most populated city both continue to push for 3 strikes laws. They want to bring back the death penalty and arrest frickin' jaywalkers, I guess. Earlier this year, legislation was announced to reclassify a list of minor crimes. But Governor Martinez, of course, struck it down, saying that it jeopardizes the health and welfare and safety of New Mexicans. Couldn't imagine it jeopardizing their health, welfare, and safety any more than the crime that we're experiencing. But let me get this straight. So you can go to jail for jaywalking, but if I have a badge, I can kill someone and return to work after 3 months of paid leave. but nobody else is allowed to have paid leave. I think the solution to all crime in this state just became alarmingly simple. Everyone join APD. It'll solve prison overcrowding because nobody will ever go to jail again. For more on the crime wave and what our government is doing or not doing about it, we go to Sheridan Johnson for this special report. Sheridan?
This summer has seen one heat wave after another. But while some Albuquerque citizens have been baking cookies in their cars, another type of tsunami has been sweeping our city's streets. I'm talking, of course, about the crime wave. Although nationally crime statistics have been steadily decreasing, here in Albuquerque, our violent crime rate is up by 30%. Our murder rate is up by 50%. All in all, these incredible growth spurts have contributed to making Albuquerque the nation's 5th most violent city. And when it comes to auto theft, we're #1. This month, Albuquerque made national headlines as a news van was stolen from KOB TV. Wow, they were reporting on the increasing crime rates downtown. Meanwhile, tech startup company Lavu, which provides hundreds of high-quality employment opportunities to New Mexicans, is threatening to leave the state amidst complaints of harassment, auto theft, and the omnipresent stench of urine that permeates the downtown area. To celebrate our climb to the top of national crime statistics, the Chamber of Commerce presented Mayor Berry with an award for public safety earlier this month. Albuquerque was of two minds about this award, as protesters gathered outside of the event told a very different story to the politicians inside. And just look how happy all of our citizens are. If you can't hear, they are saying, Mayor Berry sucks, shame on you. A little more of the excitement.
So to start off, what we're going to begin with is our E for Effort Awards. This award is for working diligently without faltering and wavering in the stress of the day up in Santa Fe on bills important to the business community, but that ultimately didn't become law.
If you're going to that event, you're a traitor to the people. You're a traitor.
And so this recognition for their hard work, and I just want to encourage them to continue to fight. Each recipient will receive a framed replica of John Trevor's E for Effort cartoon. And this year we have 12 E for Efforts.
Don't bring nothing to the people, the 1%ers with their pig feet in the trough. Yeah, good fascist piggies. Come on, piggies, grunt, grunt.
Getting 2 E for Effort awards tonight, we're pleased to recognize Representative Kelly Fajardo.
A friend of mine, Earl Payaso, was shot at a car wash with his hands up. Okay? And our district attorney chose not to prosecute because he doesn't have balls big enough to prosecute this guy.
First, we're pleased to present the Excellence in Public Safety Award to Albuquerque Mayor Richard Berry. Mayor Berry, you can stand here while I say nice things. So you can stand for us. Mayor Berry secured significant funding from Bloomberg Philanthropies as part of the Government Innovations Teams program to bring in a very talented team of professionals to study our crime challenges and work with our justice system partners on new approaches to curbing crime. The Chamber honors and appreciates leaders who lead in tough times. Mayor Berry's programs are data-driven reforms, and they're going to be long-lasting.
They're part of the elite and part of the group for the Chamber of Commerce, and they just cater to the elite, piss on the people. This is what they do. So she's giving him an award now. I mean, I can't believe it. She's given several awards to people that totally did not, they were so disconnected from the truth.
Let me start by accepting this on behalf of the men and women of the Albuquerque Police Department.
They're keeping us impoverished, uneducated, and oppressed by design.
And that's what leadership looks like. We are in the state legislature fighting for return to work so we won't have to face 343 officers leaving again and we don't have a chance to rehire. Terry Cole's right there next to me, fighting that fight.
To say that he deserves this award is sickening, it's grotesque, it's ludicrous, and Terry Cole should be shot. She should just be
To clarify, that was former mayoral candidate Stella Padilla, claiming that in part because of the rise in violent crime here in Albuquerque, the president of our Chamber of Commerce, Terry Cole, should be shot. We here at New Mexico Inquisition thought we might search for a different answer.
My name's Gus Pedrati. I'm 22. I'm running for mayor, as I said. What I'm really interested in a community-based solution. Right now, Albuquerque puts 30% of its budget towards public safety. That's a huge chunk of our entire overall wealth. And I think this is a public safety issue. And I think right now, with how we are misorganizing our police force, with how we're obstinate towards DOJ mandates, we are wasting our money in that budget. If we move forward with the DOJ reform, if we get a new police chief, do some mild restructuring, and see these changes through, we will have the opportunity to provide these better services, which will give us soft money returns, which a city can use to provide better infrastructure.
Now, the majority of the 8 remaining mayoral candidates, also like congratulations,
Thanks.
are calling for an increased number of policemen. How do you agree with that? And if so, how do you plan on making that happen?
Of course, we do need more police officers. We paid $4 million over budget last year because of overtime fees to our police officers. That's $4 million we could have been putting towards service-first models, or more police officers in general. Of course, we're overstrained.
Recruiting qualified police officers.
Showing that we're committed to the culture change that APD needs to see. No one wants to be a cop in this town right now. And what we're doing is we have to say we're going to set a high bar, but we're going to make sure that our police officers are supported the whole way through.
Other mayoral candidates have been less inclined to discuss their plans for addressing Albuquerque's crime wave. One former candidate even stated she would not share her plan as she was afraid it would be stolen.
I've really been surprised how a crisis like this with emerge candidates who really want to make a name for themselves with big change, but maybe they're seeing something out there among the people who are most likely to vote that we don't see. But I certainly feel there's room for a Bernie Sanders type populist because these guys are, flat as a tire on, a nail.
What are some of the more frustrating platitudes?
Oh, well, we're going to get rid of the police chief, and that's the crime platform, maybe, and that's just getting rid of the head of a rotting fish. They need a complete restructuring of that police department. So I think that's kind of one of the top platitudes. Or we don't need to worry about financing the restructuring of the police department with more revenue or a tax increase. It's fine. Meanwhile, the city budget's growing at maybe 0.5% a year because the economy is stagnant. And then the biggest platitude of all is silence. Silence on we're number 1 in car thefts in America, number 5 in violent crimes. A couple of the candidates have called it a state of emergency. One of them wants to convene a summit. I go, I think we need more action. I think they'll hold up the summit and steal the cars. We don't need talk, we need action.
Your best action, as always, is to vote.
There's only so much a business owner can do. It's the people that you elect in office that can really do something. So, there's only so much we can talk and talk and talk, but I'm not going to go to my back alley and stop heroin addicts. That's not what I'm going to do. I'm going to call the police.
So mark your calendars for October, and remember to attend your town hall meetings so you too can shake the hands of your mayoral candidates and ask them the questions that matter most to you. Back to you, Danger.
All right. Great job, Sheridan. Excellent report. What else is on in the news? The legislative session, the special session, ended without a hitch as Governor Martinez rescinded her threatening vetoes of higher education funds, money she held hostage in an attempt to strong-arm the legislative body. I said strong-arm the body. Sounds hot, but it's not. The state funding budget shortfall will now be paid for by government bonds, which means that instead of raising revenues, we are selling stock in New Mexico that we will have to pay back with interest. Instead of asking for money, we're handing it out. Instead of demanding that the wealthiest among us pay their fair share, we are allowing them to profit off of our shortcomings. It was a bad game of chicken, and we're all going over the side like a burned-out stolen car on Rainbow Boulevard in Rio Rancho. That's where they dump all the stolen cars. The political class's well-connected friends are sure to benefit from this deal, while we can expect the same messy patchwork to fix the budget next year as the Democrat-controlled House stands begging with their hands out, checking for your record if it's selling when it ain't. That's the end. No laughs, no girls, no friends, just the gin you drink till your car spin, you think, damn, and you slam into the wall and you fall out the car and try to crawl with one arm. And they say Democrats can't win. And I just used 15-year-old D12 lyrics to explain the mess we're in. What else is screwed up about the special session deal? We also borrowed from our infrastructure fund to pay for the budget, so our roads and bridges can continue to crumble while businesses and young people flee the state due to wave after wave of heat and crime. If that's a balanced budget, then I'm a decent rapper. McDonald's has come under fire for buying a billboard in Raton that played on the stoner instincts of their most loyal customers. The sign, and this is a true story, the sign featured a picture of a breakfast burrito and said, "Usually when you roll something this good, it's illegal." It's a clever sign. I like it. While the locals love the sign, Fox News ran a national story on it because I'm guessing they're desperate to talk about anything other than the things that the president is saying. So. Meanwhile, in Las Cruces, a Cheesecake Factory coming soon sign was revealed to be fake, sparking outrage. Imagine if they had put that fake Cheesecake Factory sign up in Raton. They'd have at least a half a dozen hungry stoners who have nothing better to do than eat a burrito from McDonald's, lined up by the freeway in confusion. Hey, McDonald's, Raton has a little something called Alfonso's. They have fresh, handmade tamales, and they're real, man. So, the purpose of this show is to have a few laughs while we deliver some news-biting information to New Mexicans just like you. Nobody knows more about how to help our local communities in need than the Southwest Organizing Project. You'll find their members at county commission hearings protesting unethical developments, hosting events that galvanize support for important local issues, and also sitting down with our own Isiah Yazzie to talk about why they do what they do and how they do it so darn good. Let's check it out.
Awesome. So I'm here today with Southwest Organizing Project, John and Jose.
That's totally wrong. It's Juan. It's totally wrong. George.
George, okay. So, what do you guys do here in Albuquerque?
Well, Southwest Organizing Project, or SWOP, is a community-based social justice organization. It works on a number of different issues, mainly affecting low-income communities of color in New Mexico and Albuquerque.
Like all of New Mexico?
Yeah, we try. We try. You know, most of New Mexico is in Albuquerque, as you guys know. But yeah, we do some campaigns that are like in a community or in a neighborhood, and others are statewide, like statewide policies, stuff like that. And I do communications work there, and Juan does environmental justice organizing.
Okay, awesome. And so, like environmental justice, what is that?
Oh man, well, it has a lot to do with environmental racism and how oftentimes communities that George spoke of are inundated with polluted industry. A lot of different communities in Albuquerque have polluted water, polluted air, a lot of different things. And you know, as you know, across the state we have coal-burning power plants, uranium mining, a lot of those types of things. But I think really, you know, the thing that we do is try to work with community members to get what they want done. Too often times politicians try to decide what we need done, and as y'all can see with many things happening, they don't always make the right decisions, and we have our best interest in mind. So, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So, you guys have a new, like a social emergency response center planning. What is that?
That's sort of a new way of organizing with people, or meeting people, letting them talk to each other, meet with each other. I think the general idea is like after there's a disaster, like a natural disaster, like a tornado or something, these centers are set up, response centers, emergency response, and people come and they get resources that they need, and they get healed, or they eat, or they talk to each other, they plan, they get resources. And it's a really good thing. So looking at that model and looking at what that is and talking about the social emergencies that we have going on. So in New Mexico, we have a lot of communities that are in like red line danger zones, you know, where there's high hunger and low education and high crime and low unemployment and food deserts and all these problems. And so really treating it like an emergency, something that's really urgent, So creating a space where people can come together and stuff like that. So the old school way or the traditional way is door knocking, like going through a neighborhood and knocking on doors and talking to people. And we still do that too, but this is sort of creating a space and hopefully inviting people so they can come and sort of help each other too. So it's also like getting people to talk to each other and figure out solutions. That's the idea.
Okay, and is it like a building? Is it held at a different place every month?
Yeah, well, we're gonna do it. It's gonna be the weekend, end of July, like from the 27th to the 30th at Open Range Spaces University in Central. And the idea is to go somewhere outside of our offices or downtown. And downtown is a good place to work, but there's not a lot of community people, or it's a lot of people that are just at work. So
how are you guys gonna get young people like me to come in and
Well,
give a care, I guess?
One of the awesome things we're doing this summer, and we do it every summer, is our YES program, which is our Youth Employment Summer Institute. And so actually right now we're working with about 80 young people across the city. They're working with about 10 to 12 different organizations, and they're getting paid a living wage to do really cool stuff. So we have about 10 interns working with us right now. Shout out to the SWOP interns.
Shout out SWOP interns!
But they're gonna be there. We engage them on issues, and we really do intergenerational work, and that's what's important to us. Is young people have a really awesome voice. They have good passion and energy, and they're the ones who are really gonna be living through all of these social emergencies. And so we really do invite them to be a part of it. We try to engage young people as much as possible, and as well as all demographics, But I think oftentimes young people are overlooked or not valued as much as other people.
So do you guys have any upcoming events in August? I know you guys were just talking about the social planning event, but I know I was reading you guys' Facebook, and there's like decolonizing storytelling, decolonizing. What does that word mean? Decolonizing.
Decolonizing really is trying to, go back. People in New Mexico are familiar with that concept, right?
Yeah.
People feel that a lot of our traditions and cultures have been colonized and replaced with something that's not what we're really about. So we're trying to go back and recapture a lot of that, and oftentimes learning from each other, our old history and cultures, is a way to do that. And so it's been an awesome project. We'd love for you all to come see it. Wednesdays at 6 p.m. Every Wednesdays we do that.
Wednesdays, 6 p.m.
So, we do a lot of different projects. We always invite people to come have fun with us at our office, and we have a really good time while we also tackle a lot of heavy-duty issues because, that's how life is.
I'm gonna ask you guys, County Commission, you guys say decolonized or colonized, okay?
Oh, man.
So, County Commissioners.
Colonized.
Hella colonized, or at least most of them.
City Council.
There's definitely a few that I would say are heavily colonized on there as well.
Susanna.
Ooh, Lord, I think she goes beyond that word.
What about, let's see, who's some upcoming, Tim Keller, colonized or decolonized? Or like gentrified, like trying to be decolonized, but you think he's like, oh yeah.
Don't try and trick us into endorsing anybody, man. Don't even try it.
Tim Keller likes heavy metal music. That's one interesting thing I've always found about Tim Keller. So there you go. Go see him at a Slayer show sometime.
So I would consider myself a Native American activist. So why should I be interested in Chicana?
Oh man. Hey man, we're all brothers and sisters here. First off. No, really what Chicano, activism speaks about is like some of our indigenous roots too, and my family has always upheld that. But we're essentially mestizos, and there's a lot of definitions of Chicanoism, but it's rooted in this land where our people were born. We have a lot of pieces of oppression. We have a lot of indigenous roots. We have a lot of Latino Mexican roots, and we just really try to honor that. But really to me, what's been cool is we have a lot of the same cultural values, like the reverence for water and cultural practices and food and just community spaces, all the things that I'm sure you grew up with.
Yeah.
Your grandma's house was one of those spaces, right?
Yeah, with no water, no electricity,
exactly.
like to this day and stuff like that.
It goes to show the resiliency of the people in New Mexico who lived under those conditions for generations, yet have such a good spirit, vibrant culture. We still get by. We have some amazing food, obviously, right? And that's why we continue to uphold those values and pieces of culture at SWOP, because we understand that's what's gotten our people through a lot. Yeah. And so, it's the same through indigenous cultures and African American cultures that we do organizing within the South. You know, it really just speaks to what we are as people and why we want to keep on holding on to that.
Can we follow you on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter? Do you guys have social
Yeah, we're
platforms?
we're on all that stuff. Facebook, it's at SWOPista, SWOPISTA. So Twitter,
I think
we're
we
also
can
on
put that
Instagram.
Right there. Or right there.
Exactly.
Awesome.
Yeah, and just sign up for our membership. We do a lot of awesome events throughout the year, so you can come hang out with us. We'd love to see you.
Awesome. Well, thank you, George. Thank you, Jose.
Yeah,
That's
no
so
doubt, Nathaniel.
All right. Nice work, Isiah. Thank you for that. I actually just became a member of SWOP, and they sent me a bumper sticker in the mail, and they got me started, so you guys want to check that out. Thanks again for watching the New Mexico Inquisition. We love you, and we want you to be happy. If our show makes you happy, you should totally check out our website at NMINQ.com and hit the Patreon button like blow. Yeah. That way we can continue delivering the hard-hitting jokes and journalism that everybody doesn't know that they need so badly. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you again next time. Ninja, vanish!
I was just wondering if I could ask the person question before you go. What are your
Chlorine and natural southwest wind on bike rides.
Fantastic.
I like that answer.
Yeah.
It's nice. Go guys. I want to cut.